have never spoken about the House of Kardashian here, but it's important in a country run by many billionaires to check up and see where their allegiances lie. And this 35-page spread in Perfect magazine with this partnership between Kim Kardashian and Tesla piqued my interest, and it set the internet on fire. While I would agree with many of you that yes, this was about going after more money, it's more than that. Style is parlayed into getting more power, and that's what we see happening here. This family has very successfully used fashion and product placement to gain more power, and what we're looking out for is which of these deals involve us and cause us to be sacrificed. We are increasingly living in what some people will call the techno-feudalist state, where we spend a lot of time interacting on these online platforms that operate with the power and the significance of a nation state. And there are people and families who use the real estate of those social media platforms to grow increasing empires that translate into the physical state of America or whatever country it is we're talking about. And it does us well to understand what the queens of the techno-feudalist state want and why. It would be a mistake to assume that this shoot was thrown together a couple days ago and that Kim Kardashian and her team knew exactly how the Cybertruck was being treated these days. This was planned months and months and months ago. I would bet my arm on it. Well, actually, I wouldn't bet my arm on it, but I will say that this didn't pop up. I don't think this popped up yesterday. Now, what we can say is that obviously her team, her PR, her publicist, they all have understood and known what Elon Musk has been saying, what he's been doing, and who he's been campaigning for. They saw him give the Hitler salute. They watched him saunter into the White House and slash programs we all voted for while pretending it was causing all this bloat in the budget when really the programs he slashed are like the tiniest parts of our budget, and you're not paying that much to help with foreign aid in another country to stop those countries from turning into the arms of our enemies. You're also not paying thousands of dollars in taxes every year to feed hungry veterans. But okay, we know based on the facts that all this slashing and cutting is happening because this class of billionaires are looking for more money and tax breaks, right? And so if they can squeeze it out of anywhere in the government they can, they will. So there's a reason that even as embroiled as this company is, Tesla, you are willing to lend your brand and your face to it. Now, the comments online are afire because everyone's like, oh my gosh, I gotta stop buying Skims. Does she know what's going on? Yes, she does. Perfect Magazine as a business platform exists to create these partnerships, right? It's for art, yes, and editorials, but they know what they're offering people. They offer a brand, a platform, they offer a star, a place to be, and they put the two together and the brands work together. And let me tell you, Kim Kardashian's brand looked at the Tesla brand and said, yes, we're still good to go. Yahoo reported with a bunch of other people that Kim Kardashian failed to read the room with this product placement. And this is where I remind you, she is not in that room. She long left that room. We're not in that room with her. She and her team weighed the worth of your trust and your opinion against the worth of Elon's trust and the line of billionaires who were behind Trump at the inauguration. Maybe by getting Musk and Trump approval, because we know she loves Ivanka, she might get a date with Jeff Bezos one day. She might have favor with the Republican Party and get to run. She might even find herself getting a nice toast at one of these parties where all these people, no matter what they believe, are in the same class because they're all in this very small group of very wealthy people. She might even gain ground with a consumer base that is uneducated and does not know what they sold themselves and their country out for. She doesn't care all that much if you comment or you hate her or you bully her for posing on the Cybertruck because she wasn't looking for your approval. Is it in line with Trump's inappropriate and terrible use of the White House to sell Cybertrucks? Yes. Is she doing this because she's banking on her followers to buy Tesla? No. She is moving into the final boss of power here. And what's left? Politics, right? She's done media, she's done sports, she's done entertainment, she's done it all. I think Coco Moco actually talked about this too, how there's always like these different levels of fame you can break into, but then there's always one that people want that they may not have had. And for her, it's definitely politics and legislation. Why do you think she was pursuing that law degree? And lastly, a note on feudalism, because I use that word when I describe techno-feudalism, where I talk about what we said earlier, the state where we're all online on real estate that like one guy like Mark Zuckerberg owns, and then it kind of feels like an autocracy because he's the one setting the parameters and he's the one letting us be influenced or not influenced by what we see or what we don't see. In trying to grasp more fully the history of feudalism, I ran into the work of Elizabeth A.R. Brown, and she's the one who wrote the tyranny of a construct, which is critiquing the idea that feudalism was one cohesive way of governing or one cohesive organization of power in the medieval times. Feudalism is a pretty anachronistic term in a sense, in that as time went on in the mid 1800s, more and more people just used it as a catch-all for these different configurations of power in medieval Europe. None of the people in medieval times used that construct. And if you try to go and find a match in terms of what I'm talking about with techno-feudalism and the feudalist state, so-called feudalist state of the past, you're not going to find it, because it was a bit more complicated and a bit more fuzzy than just, oh, everybody's practicing feudalism and it's the same from France to Italy, Germany, whatever. But we can use the construct of feudalism, or this idea of how people relate to each other in terms of land ownership and power and the different spectrums of power when we're talking about the tech state. It's useful, but it doesn't explain everything. I have a policy show. It's called Apathy is Not an Option. I co-write it with the Southern Poverty Law Center. It releases once a month, and I'm working on the March episode for you. No, sorry, the April episode. The March episode's up now. Stay safe out there.